So many things have been happening over the course of this 2024 election cycle that have been a little bit confusing. And let's be honest, there's been nothing about this this 2024 election cycle that's been normal. One of those things is Donald Trump being invited to speak at the Libertarian Party. Like, why? This is the guy who brought us the bump stock ban, by the way. This guy, I believe, has put in place more gun restrictions than like George W. Bush and Obama. He also was the guy who did the stimulus checks. Like, this guy is not a. He also had Fauci by his side during the whole COVID-19 thing. Like, this dude, I don't think is anywhere close to being a libertarian. He is a guy who, even before January 6th, where most of my problems with the guy stemmed from, he was not ruling in a way where I was like, yes, my concerns about the government being too big are surely being addressed here. Like, he continued to continue the trend of massive government spending. He didn't really shrink the government in the way that he claimed he would. He didn't get rid of the swamp like he claimed that he would. All of these things are my like small government policies and projects I would like to see embarked on in the federal government that the Libertarian Party would love to do if they had the party, but if they had power. But they also would like to do things I wouldn't like to see, like make it legal for parents to give like babies LSD. That's just not a particular thing that I want to have legalized in this country. But the Libertarian Party, for some reason, decided to have this man speak at their national convention, which takes place in a few weeks. And they put out this statement here on their official website at the beginning of the month. The Libertarian Party, the party of principle. Yo, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. You're saying that you're the party of principle? The party of principle, but you're inviting Donald Trump to speak? It just doesn't compute. It doesn't compute because when it comes to principles, Trump is disconnected from the principles. So you shouldn't even lead with that, even if that's your slogan. Yeah, I see it is your slogan there, actually, over there in the corner, right? It does say the party of principles. So maybe it's just like in the name, but still, they really shouldn't have led with that. It says they announced today that Donald Trump has responded to an invitation and challenge from the Libertarian Party to speak at its national convention and directly address concerns voiced by its members. Trump will speak on Saturday, May 25th in Washington, D.C. Okay, that makes even less sense. That makes even less sense because, that'd be like Joe Biden being invited to speak to the RNC, to address concerns felt by Republican voters. This actually seems more of like an active invitation for Donald Trump to court libertarian voters, which is not really something that I feel like makes the most sense in the context of the Libertarian Party, because you're basically telling Libertarian Party voters, as the Libertarian Party itself, hey, why don't you guys consider voting for Donald Trump? Which, like, is bad marketing, right? That's like Coca-Cola saying, hey, did you hear about, that Starry soda? You should try it. It's actually not that bad. By the way, I have Starry soda. I've tried it. It's actually not that bad. But that's beside the point. I don't work for Coke, so it's not hypocritical or strange for me to say. But the Libertarian Party literally works for themselves. It's against their self-interest to advertise another party candidate at their own convention, especially as we have all other Libertarian Party members who are literally campaigning to become the nominee of that party. It just doesn't make sense to me. Members of the Libertarian Party will share a list of their top 10 issues with President Trump in advance of the convention, hoping to make an impact on the policy positions of a past and possibly future president. Angela McArdle states, for 50 years, we've been trying to get our candidates on the main stage with major party POTUS candidates, and we finally succeeded in bringing one to our stage. Huh? No, that's not true. We've been trying to get our candidates on the main stage with major party POTUS candidates. They said they brought somebody else's candidate to their own stage. What that would mean is what they've been trying to do is get someone on the Libertarian Party ticket to then be on the main. Wait a second. Now, I really admit this is a crazy conspiracy theory. I don't even think this is entirely true. But wouldn't it be something if the Libertarian Party, with this appearance, is going to announce that Donald Trump is joining the Libertarian Party? Now, for the reasons I outlined at the very beginning of this, that wouldn't make much sense, right? Because Donald Trump doesn't really represent libertarian values. But that would make more sense for the Libertarian Party when they're saying, we've been trying to get our candidates on the main stage with major party candidates. Hey, Donald Trump is one of those people. But the thing that doesn't make this make sense is that Trump isn't on the Libertarian Party. But if he ever joins, booyah. This makes all the sense in the world. Okay, let's continue the rest of this. I don't know if that's true, but that would be crazy if that's the reason why they invited him. Libertarians are some of the most independent and thoughtful thinkers in our country, and I am honored to join them in Washington, D.C. later this month, said President Trump. We must all work together to help advance freedom and liberty for every American, and a second Trump administration will achieve that goal. I look forward to speaking at the Libertarian event, which will be attended by many of my great friends. We all have to remember that our goal is to defeat the worst president in the history of the United States by far, because he spoke in all caps there, crooked Joe Biden. If libertarians join me and the Republican Party, where we have many libertarian views, the election won't even be close. I don't know if that's true, because if the Libertarian Party was so powerful, then they would have had they would have gotten at least one electoral college votes. But that's not something that's happened before. I don't think. I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But it does seem like here with Trump's language that this is more about courting libertarian voters than getting the nomination. We cannot have another 4 years of death, destruction, and incompetence. We will work together and win. He said that in all caps.
LOL Media said in the chat.
I don't know why I said that in all caps.
Is a Libertarian a new party?
Okay. LOL Media in the chat says, is Libertarian a new party? No. The Libertarian Party has been around for a long time. It's one of the many various third parties that we have in America. Angela McArdle here says for 50 years. They've been around for a while. They've been around for a while. The theme for the 2024 Libertarian National Convention is Become Ungovernable. Again, I don't think that matches anything in Donald Trump's platform, right? Rumor has it that he's going to be on board with the whole Project 2025 thing. He hasn't said anything about that publicly, which I think is very smart of him to do. But if he does, I don't think libertarians are going to be on board with that either. I mean, there are many people who have concerns with that, even within the Republican Party. So that's just it. Nothing about these two, these two aren't a good match for each other. It doesn't make sense. This was chosen following the previous years of unconscionable and authoritarian actions by the United States federal and state governments, which saw citizens confined, indoctrinated, lied to, and inoculated against their will. Under Donald Trump's presidency. This doesn't make any sense. What part of this makes sense to you guys? This is just so dumb. This is so stupid. I don't even. Let's continue. Fauci was picked by Trump. Half of the COVID-19 crisis happened under Donald Trump. Those inoculations, that confinement, all oversaw by Trump. As a matter of fact, what was it? Operation Warp Speed. That was something that Donald Trump has bragged about for years and years and years. He brags about it to this day, where his fans all boo him. So with the whole COVID-19 vaccine disgruntlement that the Libertarian Party has, I don't even understand mentioning that in this article, because it's just another pain point for true libertarians who are going to be like, this doesn't make sense to me. This is not something I connect with. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. The citizens of the United States must become governable to regain their basic rights and freedoms. This year's convention will welcome well-renowned speakers, activists, and thinkers, as well as decide the Libertarian presidential candidate for the 2025 election cycle. There is no greater collection nor community of freedom, liberty, and independently minded people. Speakers confirmed thus far for the convention include President Donald J. Trump, cardiologist and epidemiologist Dr. Peter McCullough, filmmaker and brother of Julian Assange, Gabrielle Shipton, part of the Problem host, Dave Smith. Oh, Dave Smith, I've heard good things about him. Freedom advocate, historian and Bitcoin futurist Robert Breedlove, I've heard of him too, and Joanne and Mark Skousen, longtime liberty activists, founders of Freedom Fest and the Anthem Libertarian Film Festival. More speakers will be confirmed in the coming months. Coming months? It's happening in the same month. This is rife with typos. They put in a capital I in the Libertarian here as well when it didn't belong there. They should have proofread this before they released it. For those interested in attending or sponsoring this historic and transformative event with thousands of like-minded individuals, convention, registration, and application for press coverage are available at lnc2024.com. But yeah, people are now complaining about this, and for good reason, because Donald Trump, there's very little that Donald Trump has in common with Libertarian Party values, except maybe cultural values. I think cultural values would be it. So the Washington Post pointed that out. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is RFK Jr. challenged Donald Trump to a debate at the Libertarian convention. Yeah, RFK challenged Trump to a debate. I don't think that Trump responded. Oh, Donald Trump did say this, though. This is interesting. Last month, Trump wrote on Truth Social that RFK Jr. is a Democrat plant, a radical left liberal who's been put in place in order to help crooked Joe Biden. Which is crazy. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that many people are leaving Trump to vote for RFK Jr. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I see more like people from Joe Biden's camp. I could see them moving towards RFK Jr. more than with a Trump. Hey, I could be wrong, but like I just am not seeing that. None of this makes sense to me except for RFK Jr. challenging Donald Trump to a debate, which, by the way, I would love to see. As difficult as it would be to listen to because of RFK Jr.'s voice, I think substantively it would be a fascinating debate. I think especially on COVID-19, RFK Jr. would probably beat Trump pretty badly, and so that would make it competitive. And I think that would then I think that makes some people reconsider their support for Donald Trump. Now, for that reason, I don't think that Donald Trump would accept that debate. I think the only debate that Donald Trump would accept is a debate against Joe Biden, because Donald Trump is definitely afraid of losing any of the support that he has right now. He feels worried that if he has any debate against anyone else, then he might lose support. That's the reason why he ran away from all the GOP candidates in the Republican nominee process, presidential nominee process, because he was just scared to lose support to all those folks. So, because people have tough questions for the guy, right? He's had 4 years of being president of the United States. People kind of have questions about how some of that was conducted. He was by no means a perfect president. As much as I think he did a great job, he was by no means a perfect president. So, and there are valid questions. He didn't want to face the music on that. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens when it comes to the debate, but I do not foresee this going well at all for Donald Trump. Fortunately for him, the only thing that he might lose is like libertarian voter support. And even then, like, I don't know how many of those people would even have voted for Donald Trump in the first place. So